So I just did the front to rear split on this just to further get into things and make sure I don't have any problems. And I'm glad once again I got into it, as I'm finding this kind of stuff in here. Of course, a lot more silicone, and this glob is something that's about to fall. There's just no way this is good for it. I mean, look at all this. That's disgusting. That's this end. I still have to take off the MCV and these shift levers, but they have a lot to them, so I'm very hesitant to do so, but I'll do it. And then I think I'm going to take out most all this stuff, empty this case, clean everything out, put it all back together. I'm waiting on my brake band to come, and then as long as the bearings are good, I have a few seals for here already. I will go ahead and just clean everything up and start putting it back together. The outer brake bands that were here, that were ground down pretty bad. I did get a new one. I ordered two, but only one came. So here's the front speed transmission, and just more of this stuff in here. I don't know what this crap is. Whoops, besides disgusting. But again, I'm glad I got into it. I did pull the little clip out of here so I can take all these out. I'm kind of just hesitant to do so, but I need to take it all out and get this case cleaned up. Clean up the outside. I may actually just start cleaning up the outside and try to leave the least amount of downtime possible from when I dismantle the gears to when I put them back together, just in case my brain doesn't work right. On my Planetary gear set, this goes onto the axle, and it has some shims with it. So I put them with a little zip tie so I don't lose them. Of course, all this is dirty. I have to clean it. I'm probably going to clear out a spot in my garage and start reassembling everything in the garage, just so I don't have to worry about rain and all that stuff. Because it will rain, we're in Florida. My PTO clutch assembly, that's just disgusting. I got new clutch sets for it, so I will take it apart and rebuild that. So now, that's Ranger, of course. Hey buddy, how you doing? This is the other outer brake ring, and this is the part that was ground down. See, it's a beautiful mirrored surface, and actually this is higher than the edge, where the other one is quite opposite, where it's lower than the edge. Just to show a side-by-side comparison, that's what we got. So you could see how this one is. That's the newer one. That's the old one. So it ground down quite a bit. So I moved to the range transmission. Everything is just such a dang mess here. I got all the PTO shafts and all that kind of stuff out. No problem. I did drop a ring down in that muck. I'll get it out later. I got the shifting, well, there goes the filter. I got the shifting levers all out of there. This is my brake, which I'm going to start working on that on the inside. My MCV, this is a, what is it, multi-control valve, something like that. This is my hydraulic filter, hydraulic fluid filter. And no, it's not really supposed to look like that, but it does. If you've been following along, you're going to know that transmission fluid, excuse me, the hydraulic fluid in here has been a complete disaster. Now, it has this screen in front of it, and I believe this is part of a bypass valve. And it's a fine mesh that's supposed to catch stuff, almost like a pre-filter to that. But it actually started coming off. So this machine was having a very hard time with fluid. I'm hoping my pumps are okay, which the pump is behind this MCV valve. So I'll find out here shortly. But it's absolute nastiness. So of course I'm getting a new filter, but I'm hoping to get this one apart. I have a few more pieces inside of here to get out. And really the brake band, this is my brake band. I need to change that and just clean everything up and get it back together again. And I'll be putting that together inside. So that's it. This is where the differentials go, or the axles come right here. So this is the very back of the tractor. So anyway, I got a lot of work to do and a lot of big mess around here. So I'm gonna get back to that and I'll show you all my progress here in a little bit. All right, I got the MCV off, and interesting things that I found. This is the plate for it. One broken O-ring. Thought that's interesting. But what's even more interesting is this clump of schmutz in here. Oh man, I don't know if that you could see that right in there. This is, again, still the range transmission, and oh man, it is stuck on there. Oh, it's a sock. Oh, okay, I know what that, wow. That is the sock that is supposed to give fluid up through there that I think runs something else. I forgot what, but all this is around the sock, and therefore I know it wasn't working. This thing was absolutely starved for hydraulic fluid. No doubt about it. Interesting. So neat the stuff I find in here. Okay, so I'm still in the range transmission here. I got the gears out. The brake was right here. Last time I was on this side over here, looking down into it, and I saw that, you saw that screen right there. Right here, that was all, where is it? Right here, that was all full of junk. Looking at the other side of it, it goes to this pump. Look at that thing down there. It's just so corroded. Yeah, this is the pump, and I don't know, it's just a pain in the butt. It's pretty dirty stuff. I'm really glad I'm getting in here and cleaning it. Here I have the this is the speed transmission. Yeah, I have a little apparatus up here. This is the part where you have your gears, first, second, third, fourth. So this is my problem right here. So if I can get that sun out of the way, this is my problem here. This is, I believe this is first gear. It is stuck on the shaft there. Honestly, it's supposed to just, nothing will slide right now because I have it so tight, but it should just slide right off. Once I take the pin, there's a C-clip pin deal in between these two gears, which are first, second, fourth. So second and fourth gear, there's a clip right in here with two thrust washers. I got the clip out. The washers won't come out until you get it apart. But here are my synchronizers, and there's a little, some kind of constant mesh gear or something like that in between them. But anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but it is just, it's scored up so bad. I'm hoping I'm not going to have an issue with that shaft when I get it out. It's just not coming out. I have been trying and trying and trying. I have this little apparatus here trying to put some pressure on it. I've gotten to move. I've been using heat, and I've been using the air chisel, and that's how I got it that far. All these gears, when I take the tension off of it, all these gears will slide up and down. So I'm hoping this gear, after I pass its thickness, will slide off. But my gosh, it is tough. I spent a good, well, most of the day yesterday and most of my day today, and I've gotten nowhere. There's another shaft, which is that one down there. It has to do with it's the IPTO shaft. And that one too, once you take the clips out, it's supposed to pop right out. But of course it's not. So I'm dealing with that as well. So this speed transmission, there's your bell housing right here. That part hooks up to the engine. This is a pain in the butt. There was a piece, you can't see it, but it's right there. That is supposed to be a spot for a lube tube, which lubes the bearing in there, and that tube was missing. I don't know if it has to do with lube onto these gears, but that might be the reason this gear is like seized on there, because it had no lubrication on it. Again, I'm not unhappy about getting into this. I got new seals for it, new gaskets. I just need to get it apart and cleaned. So I put it under tension right now, and I'm leaving it under tension, and we'll just see if it wants to give way at all. All right, so I fought and fought and fought to get that piece off. I just could not get that gear off the shaft at all. I spent way too long. So I tried heating it, I tried pounding on it. I got a little jack with a wedge that opens up to try to get it off. I just had absolutely no luck with it. So finally I took the torch to it, I heated it up with the torch to get it a lot hotter. Pounded on it. Again, used the hydraulics in there. Would not budge at all. So I just cut it. First of all, I thought I can just cut the gear a little bit and it still would not come off. So by then I'm thinking it has welded itself to the shaft. Ended up having to cut the gear on both sides completely off. I tried driving wedges in between there in the cuts, still would not come off. So I had to actually cut around the gear, and I finally got it out, but that was a booger. Luckily, I was able to find another shaft and all the gears on eBay. After I found that, it gave me a lot more confidence to just cut it. I still tried saving it, but I was not able to save it. Luckily, that was also the shaft that had most of the broken gears on it. It kind of worked out pretty good. I was able to find the whole set, all the gears on the shaft at a better price than just the gears separately. And of course, they're all used. I'm just hoping they fit, because if not, I'm in trouble. So here's the mess of what I got into. Here's the gears I had to cut. Oops. That's the shaft right here. Ended up having to I cut through it. It's just terrible. This is where it was stuck in here. These went around like that, one of those sides. I had to cut that sucker off. It did get into this a little bit, but that's okay because I'm not using that. I'm just saving those parts for whatever, because there's still some more, some good gears on there as well. So this was on the top of the shaft. This is what stuck out of the casing, but it was just, this thing was just welded on there pretty good. Now, the problem that I noticed originally was this is a lube tube hole, and there's supposed to be a tube that goes from here to somewhere else in there that gets lube to the bearing casing, and I believe the shaft, and it wasn't there. So there was no oil getting to that first gear, which was this one. As I was shifting gears on the transmission, I had a really hard time shifting gears as it was just sitting there. So I'm hoping this will actually fix the problem. We shall see. But anyway, I got it apart and I got it cleaned up. This is it, finally. Luckily I didn't do any damage to the casing at all. But I got it up, wire wheeled. I got a few more spots to get. And then I actually coat it with diesel, just so it doesn't rust up. Yeah, I got one of the axles done. Still have the other axle to do. But that's what happened with it. So hopefully the other gears fit. If not, we gotta find something else to do. Thanks for watching. Next time I'll be starting to put things together, and kind of excited to finally get some forward progress on this thing. All right.